I've been stuck on this one Bible verse pretty much all week. It's from Proverbs 19, verse 21. And it reads something along the lines of, many are the plans of a person's heart, but it is God's purpose that prevails. Something like that. Don't quote me, read the Bible. Um, this verse is simply sticking with me so much this week because it reminds me about how we make plans, God laughs, that saying. And that is absolutely 1,000% true. God's purpose will prevail. Whatever his plans are for us, that's what will prevail. That is what will happen in our lives. We get so caught up in creating these plans of our own, and we go through such a grieving process um when it doesn't work out. And I noticed that's what I have the hardest time with. I have these plans, I have it all mapped out, I've had it all written out, I set a timeline to it, I set the action steps, and I'm putting in the work, and I'm like, God, this is what I expect. I'm telling him what I expect. I expect to get out of me putting in the work. And when it doesn't happen, it's because it wasn't according to his plan for me. And I'll give you guys an example. Me being in Philly, that was not my plan. It made sense, like when I talk about it, when I think about it, when I think back to it, it all makes sense. Like there were so many things that were setting me up for me to be here, but me physically being in Philly was not on the bingo card, as we say this year. It was not on the bingo card for 2025. Had no intentions on making that happen when it did. However, God made my life so that I had no choice but to be here. I literally had nowhere else to go but to Philly. And I mean like literally nowhere else to go. Buying a house in Syracuse was not an option. Renting something else in Syracuse was not an option. Being in Philly was the only option. And thank God, and I'm reminded of the conversation that I had with two of my sisters. In the conversation, where I remember one of them saying like, "Hey sis, it already sounds like you know where to go, what to do," and I'm just like, I didn't though. Until that conversation happened, I didn't. And us having that conversation made me realize that Philly was the only option for me. Right? Stay with me. Not only was Philly the only option, God made it so that everything maps out. I not only from making the decision to be in Philly to then actually moving to Philly happened in the matter of 2 weeks. If you can't tell me that wasn't God, I don't know what you can tell me. I don't even need you to tell me that wasn't God. I don't need you to tell me that was God, because I know it was. Like everything aligned so that he had me where I needed to be. It didn't matter that I visited Philly 3 or 4 times in the matter of 8 months prior to that. It didn't matter that I had family here that had already planted roots and that can help guide me in a new city. It didn't matter that um I already had goals of being licensed in different states. And it just so happens that I meet a woman who is licensed in multiple states, one of them being in Philadelphia, another one in New York, and she's specifically located in Syracuse, and she's licensed in Jersey. Put some respect on it. But she set me up with a coach who has been able to pour into me the way they have been in order for me to continue to expand on my business. It was all God. I did not plan it. I had different plans. I'm telling y'all, my plans were different. These were not my plans for 2025. I'm like, it they weren't my plans. They just simply were not my plans. And I'm so grateful, but it reminds me that as much as I want to control what I cannot control, as much as I want to plan for myself, there's somebody greater who already has the perfect plan for me. And it makes me emotional. He already has a perfect plan for me, and all I have to do is be obedient and follow his will. And I will have this beautiful life, of course. And I don't expect it to be easy. It's not going to be easy because how else will, for one, I appreciate things? How else will I learn the lessons that he needs me to learn? But how else will I get to the the destination without going through the journey? And honestly, the journey is the most beautiful part. But God's purpose will prevail. God's plans will prevail over our own. And that's my TED Talk for today.